In this video, we're going to review printing and using variables in Python. So, print function in Python, typically a way that works, go ahead and try this in your CS50 IDE. So, you would type out print and an open parenthesis, a quotation, your name, another quotation, and an end parenthesis. Now, just to note that in Python, comments are with hashtags, so anything to the right of a hashtag is readable by us, but Python ignores it. Also note that the print function must have an open and closed parenthesis, and they have to match together. All right, so now think of variables as data that can change. So if you were to look up the dictionary, variables are defined as an element or feature or factor that can change. And in computer science, variables are a data item that can take on one or more value during the runtime of a program. Now, a variable name refers to a particular object, and a variable is a memory location where a programmer can store a value. So just think to yourself, whenever you want to save some information, usually you'll do that via a variable. So in Python, variables are created when they're first assigned, and the type of the variable is determined by Python automatically. So some example types, data types in Python are strings, integers, and floats. Strings are enclosed by a pair of single or double quotations. So for example, you could have name equal quotation Sam. Because it's a string, again, strings belong in quotations, either single or double. Integers are whole numbers. Just remember, integers do not go in between quotations. And floats are numbers with decimals. Just kind of think of that decimal there as floating around. If you were to multiply it or divide it, that decimal may kind of float around your number. All right. Now, the way that a variable is assigned is that you have a variable name, you have an equal sign, and then you have the value on the right-hand side. So this is a little bit different from mathematics, because in mathematics, an equal sign is testing for equality. In this case, the equal sign just means assignment. So go ahead and assign the variable name to your name and print out your name. Now, another thing that I want to note, as I mentioned before, the value of a variable can change over its lifetime. So for example, if you were to say money equal 9.99, and then you were to say money equal 19.99, were you to print it out, you would print out the value that it had last. In this case, it would be 19.99. All right, so again, just note the assignment operator is the equal sign, and it's not the same as the mathematical equality. All right, some variable naming rules. Variable names must begin with either a letter or an underscore. So some examples are X, I, points, money, and friends. Other characters can be letters, numbers, or the underscore. So for example, you could have X1 with a lowercase x. You could have a capital X for X1. You could have CS. You could have computer underscore science. All of these are legal variable names. Variable names in Python are also case sensitive. So for example, CS, all lowercase, is different from CS, all uppercase. Now there are certain Python keywords that you can't use as variable names, and so this is a small list of them. So whatever you do, don't use them. In CS50 IDE, if you try to use one of these keywords, it'll actually change colors that'll give you an indication that Python is using it for something else and not to use it as a variable name. So variable names can be any length, but they should be meaningful, and they should be short and to the point and easy to remember. Now, one of the strengths of Python is that if you choose good variable names, your Python code may read like an English sentence. So my first question here is this a legal name? Is this a legal variable name in Python? NBA 2K. And the answer is yes, because variable names can consist of letters, numbers, and the underscore character. Now, how about this? Is Sixpack a legal variable name in Python? And the answer would be no, because variable names cannot start with a number in Python. Now, how about this? High score. Notice here I purposely put a space there. Is that a legal variable name? And the answer there is no, variable names cannot contain spaces. All right, how about this? LTR / fl.oz, is that a legal variable name? And the answer is no, because you can't use symbols like the slash or a period in a variable name. They have different meanings, which we'll go over in another lesson. All right, how about hashtag baseball? Is that a legal variable name? And the answer is no, because a hashtag in Python, it means commenting. All right, and so that's about it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next one.